Good morning. Welcome to Morning Love, my morning time of inspiration and encouragement and love that I send out to my viewers. I'm here every morning to just encourage you. Start your day out well. Have you ever wondered what it means to be righteous? I mean, maybe not. If you didn't grow up in the church, you didn't hear the preacher commanding you to live a righteous life, with anger and much spittle. But what does that word mean, righteous? In the was it the 70s and 80s? It was righteous was kind of I was righteous, dude. Maybe it's the 90s. But anyway, so what does that word mean, righteous? It comes from two words, right, correct, or proper, or best, and wis, which means way or manner. Could say mind, right mind. So righteousness, right, being righteous is simply being in your right mind. The psalmist wrote that the righteous man, let's see, here it is, the steps of the righteous man are ordered. That when you're in your right mind, your path makes sense. That things connect, the dots connect. You understand why and where you're going and who you're supposed to be when you're in your right way. The book of Proverbs says that though the righteous shall fall 7 times, they will arise every time. That when you're in your right way, that you're undeterred, that there is no obstacle that you won't find a way around. When I was back in my pastoral days and counseling others, I would tell them, you are getting exactly what you want. You'll find a way to get those things that you desire and to bring them about. The issue is, again, yesterday we talked about putting things in the wrong bag, but today I want to talk about the wrong way, the way that path, and how we get off on the wrong way, and how we get into being not righteous, not in the right way, not in our right mind, not who we are. For me, it was identifying emotionally with my father's failed ambitions to be a football player, an NFL player. That was his desire, actually, to be a college player more than an NFL player, because college ball was bigger when he was younger. But that was his dream, and so and I don't know where that dream came from, but the emotional hurt, a lot of complicated things as far as being firstborn, and there's just a lot of issues there. But for whatever reason, I identified with that as my way. The wall of the success ladder that I was climbing, but it was on the wrong wall. That was the wall. So I put a lot of effort into it, and the interesting thing is, there were things that along the way that I know that subconsciously I underscored my efforts. I undercut myself. Just things that somehow deep inside I knew that wasn't my way. So just poor decisions with things that if I had really wanted to do that, I would have made better decisions. And so that brings me to how do you find that right way? How do you find what you truly desire? First of all, it's going to be something you enjoy. I don't know how many times, especially in high-profile professional endeavors like lawyers and doctors, the pressure upon the kids to follow in the footsteps, because the father, is just looking for a little bit of his own bit of justification for who he is, that confirmation of what he is and who he is. And that's all we're seeking. And see, the thing is that when you seek that outside, when you seek it outside of yourself, when you're filling up others' bags with the desires, and now you're leaning your ladder against the wrong wall. It's frustrating. It's hard. It's emotionally raw. It's distraught. As for me, so what I discovered was that I wasn't a football player, and then after losing that identity, what was I? I was a waiter. I was a food restaurant. I was all these things, these roles, trying to figure out, and finally figuring out that I was defining my success by what others defined as success. That's why meditation and those things are so vital and so important. Learning to seek who you are. And so how do you find your right path? Wow. I don't have enough time here to go into all of it. But again, continue the breathing practices. Continue to ask those questions as they arise. Whose thought is that? Whose thought is that? Whose wall is that? Whose idea of success is that? What is it that truly matters to me? What is it that if I could spend the rest of my life doing, I would do? What is it that if money were no object, I would take up? What is it that if I wasn't afraid of what others would say, I would embrace? See, the answer is always right in front of us. Namaste.